Hello everyone. Welcome to Cooking with Dr. Fred, the Christmas edition. Obviously I'm in my house, so I don't need to have this mask on, but I just thought it would be funny. And hopefully we'll have a few more of these episodes. But what I'd like to start off with is a good eggnog, because Christmas can be keto. And that's what we're going to start off doing. So we're going to make a good eggnog, because a lot of you think that you probably can never have eggnog again. But the thing is, I'm not going to put sugar in it. So we're going to pour out, 2 cups, you're looking at 2 cups of a nut milk. So either macadamia nut milk, which would be my preference, almond milk, it's easier to find, most people know how to taste it. Today I am doing it with soy milk, simply because my guest for tomorrow, which will be my cousin and her child, has a nut allergy. So I have to be very careful not to put any nuts. So you're going to put it in a saucepan. So it's 2 cups of the nut milk. Then you put 2 cups of heavy cream, which is delicious. Oops, I have more in the fridge, so not to worry. Get rid of that, get rid of that. And it's really fun. I mean, you'll learn how to adapt your cooking and your favorite recipes into a more keto way as well, because there's certainly plenty of it available. So I would hope that you take advantage of that. Yes, we all like to indulge, but when we can, take advantage of it, why not? So it's 2 cups of the nut milk, 2 cups of heavy cream. A lot of recipes call for using xylitol or erythritol, but as you know, I do not like any of that stuff. So I'm not putting any in mine, because the cream is certainly sweet enough. Cinnamon stick, throw in the cinnamon stick, 1 cinnamon stick, and a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I would have ground the nutmeg myself, but you know, circumstances being what they are in the middle of a pandemic, the less I have to go out, the better. And this one got delivered to me, so there you go. I think I'm cutting off my head a little bit in this picture. I'll have to do something about that. But first, let me get the nutmeg open. I should have done this before we were on camera, but I tried to prepare everything else. I'm not perfect, what can I say? All right, so a teaspoon should be this one. No, that's half a teaspoon. So just a nice level teaspoon. That's all we really need in there. Really just for flavoring, and you'll probably use a little bit more. Sort of just sprinkle on the top of everyone's. I also should have looked up what the ingredients, what the good part of nutmeg and cinnamon were. I'm sure there's phytophenols, I'm sure there's antioxidants in them. But I was more focused today on how do you make something that's indulgent, low carb. So let's turn this on. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put it on sort of a low medium heat, because that's gotta cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. I realize I'm off camera, but oh, not really. There you go, hello. And so I'm just gonna, get the nutmeg all in there. And obviously I should say that it was the unsweetened version of nut milks, because there's enough sweet in the heavy cream. Okay. So since I usually use my phone for a timer, and my camera's filming me, I'm just gonna check the clock. And we want it about 10 minutes, and we'll do that. Okay, so while that's happening, we'll put this aside, and we turn to the eggs. And you need 6 egg yolks. Now, as I've told you before, I'm not very good at eggs. So we're gonna see how well I can do on these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Put them aside, and I'm going to put this on here. And so the way I learned how to do this And I'm going to pour the yolks into this because they're going to have to be beaten. So you basically cut it in half, and you let the white, by simply going from one half of it to the next, to the next, to the next, and hopefully you don't break the yolk, and that's how you get the white out of it. I'm sure there's some fancy gadget now, but I don't have it. I know, shocking that I don't have all the kitchen gadgets there are. Oops. Excuse my finger, but I got shell in there. Easier to get it out now, although I'm sure the shell has plenty of calcium that you can enjoy. All right, here we go again. Perfect. Oops. Okay. And you just keep doing that until you get as much of the white out as you possibly can. I mean, I get bored, so I don't do it completely. And you must be getting bored watching me do this too. So why don't I pause for a minute and we'll be back in just a second. Hello. So while we were away, I got a chance to look up the health benefits of cinnamon and sugar. And I should have known cinnamon obviously helps with blood sugar disorders. It helps lower blood sugar. It helps increase insulin sensitivity. It's got tons of antioxidants in it. And with nutmeg does a lot of things. I was very, very surprised at how many things nutmeg actually does for you. But it's sort of antiviral, antibacterial, loaded with antioxidants, so it's good for the heart. And it also has some, what was the other thing that they said? Oh, brain function. I guess I should have more. Okay, so I just want you to look at the color of these egg yolks. I'm not sure I can get it that close to the camera. I mean, the color and it being lit well, but the color is absolutely extraordinary. It's something you can only get from a hen that has been raised properly. You can never get this color from a regular egg. And egg yolks are actually one of the few sources of antioxidants. I mean, of vitamin D. Food sources of vitamin D, I should say. Okay, so this milk mixture looks perfectly content. So we'll move that from the heat. We'll give that a minute or two because here's the hard part. The hard part is you've got to what we call temper the hot mixture into the eggs. And you do that by doing it very, very slowly, a little bit at a time, because otherwise the eggs will cook and you don't want the eggs to curdle. So you've got to do it very, 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 very slowly. I may have overheated this a little too much, but we'll see in a minute whether it works. I think I left it on for a minute too long. So let's let that cool, and I will come right back. I'm gonna take a little ladle, and I'm gonna just put maybe just half of it in there at a time. And you've got to do this very, very slowly again, so that the eggs do not cook. You do not want the eggs to cook. I hope you can hear me over this. We'll put a little in at a time. And just whisk it, you can use a hand mixer too, but when it comes to putting the hot liquid into eggs, it's very, very complicated. So I always use a hand mixer in this instance. So far so good, folks. So far so good. Still at it, folks. Still doing a good job. Still making sure that the eggs are nice and fluffy now, which is the way you want them. And the tempering by ladleful is probably too slow. And trying to do this as ambidextrous is not fun either, because I'm not left-handed. So I'll come back to you guys as soon as we're closer. Okay, folks, we're almost done. This is now empty. The saucepan is now empty. I'm going to put the cinnamon stick back in. That noise is a lot. Okay, so now what you do is you pour this back into the saucepan. Hopefully I won't spill it everywhere. I think I'll just move it closer this way. So you pour the mixture back into the saucepan. That looks so good. Smells even better. So you put that back there for about 8 to 10 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes at low medium, just like we had it before. And you'll basically stir it with a wooden spoon. Let me go get a wooden spoon. Stand by. You stir it with a wooden spoon, and when it starts sticking to the spoon, that's when you know it's done. Then you take it off. I'm gonna put it back into this bowl, and then I'm gonna cover it and put it in the refrigerator. And it's gotta cool and congeal for about 5 hours. So it's something that I'm making for tomorrow. So you can keep it 5 hours, overnight, it doesn't matter. And then you'll have delicious eggnog. And the best part is that tomorrow, after we serve my 10-year-old cousin, her mother and I will then pour either bourbon or dark rum. It goes really well with dark rum, and decorate the Christmas tree. What a fun what a fun afternoon that's going to be. I'm looking forward to it. And this is just about done. I think it's actually done. But if I can show you this, hopefully I can show you this. You see how it sticks to the wooden spoon? That's when you know it's at 160 degrees. Because I tried to use this, but this is a meat thermometer. I don't think it really works with liquids. But it seems to be good anyway. It's nice and it's thickened up from the last time you saw it because it was nice and frothy, because that's how you have to keep the eggs from curling. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it another minute. Yeah, I like just another minute. And then we're gonna pour it into this bowl. And then we're gonna add vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Stir it, and then that's it. Then you've made eggnog. You've made a low-carb keto eggnog. And tomorrow I'll tell you how good it is after it's been cooled. And after a couple of them, a couple of shots of bourbon, I'm sure I will tell you it's delicious. All right, I think it's done. Nice and thick on the spoon. I'll just give it an extra minute, making sure you have to make sure it doesn't boil. It cannot boil. Boiling would defeat the whole purpose. It would cook the egg. All right, that's pretty thick on that. All right, so now I'm gonna take it off the heat. We're gonna pour it right into my nice little Christmas bowl. Smells delicious. I'm not gonna put it on the stove because that will make a mess. Then we take the vanilla extract and you just put 2 tablespoons in. 1, 2. Take my trusty spoon, stir it around, and that's it. Low carb, keto, paleo, whatever you want to call it, whatever diet you're following, eggnog. Thank you very much for tuning in to this edition of the Dr. Fred Show. Well, the Dr. Fred Cooking Show, the Christmas edition. One of the Christmas editions. Hopefully I'll get to do more. All right, thank you guys.